Take a look around you right now. Look at the clothes you are wearing. Think about the car you drive, the career you are pursuing, the way you decorate your living space, and the exact words you use when you introduce yourself to a stranger. Now, I want you to ask yourself a terrifying question. How many of those choices were actually yours? We all walk around believing we are the autonomous authors of our own lives. We celebrate freedom. We think we are making independent, rational decisions based on our unique desires. But the uncomfortable truth is that for the vast majority of your waking life, you are not making choices. You are performing. You are an actor on a stage, playing a role written by society, directed by the expectations of your family, and judged by an audience of people you don't even like. In the late 18th century, a philosopher named Jeremy Bentham designed a theoretical prison called the Panopticon. It was a circular building with prisoner cells around the outside and a single guard tower in the center. The genius and the horror of the Panopticon was that the guard tower was mirrored. The prisoners could never see if the guard was watching them. Because they might be watched at any given second, they began to police their own behavior. The physical guard was no longer necessary. The prisoners became their own wardens. You are living in a psychological panopticon. You police your ambition, your art, your relationships, and your true personality because you feel the constant, invisible gaze of the imaginary audience. You are trapped. Over 2,500 years ago, the ancient Daoist philosopher Lao Tzu diagnosed this exact sickness with one devastating sentence: care about what other people think, and you will always be their prisoner. Today, we are going to break you out of that prison. We are going to deconstruct the evolutionary glitch that makes you crave approval, dissect the modern architecture designed to exploit it, and use Lao Tzu's ancient wisdom to permanently dismantle the imaginary audience in your head. By the end of this, you will realize that the cell door has been unlocked your entire life. You just never pushed it open. The evolutionary glitch. To escape the prison, you first have to understand why it was built. Your obsession with what other people think is not a character flaw. It is not a sign of weakness. It is a biological survival mechanism that has outlived its usefulness. For 200,000 years, human beings lived in tight-knit nomadic tribes of about 150 people. In that environment, your reputation was your currency. If you were well-liked, you were protected, fed, and allowed to reproduce. If you angered the tribe, if you were deemed weird, selfish, or unlikable, you were exiled. And in the Paleolithic era, exile was a death sentence. You cannot hunt a mammoth alone. You cannot survive a winter alone. Your brain evolved to treat social rejection as a literal threat to your life. Modern neuroscience proves this. When you experience social rejection, when you are mocked, ignored, or heavily criticized, your brain's anterior cingulate cortex lights up. This is the exact same region of the brain that processes physical pain. When someone insults you, or when a post gets zero engagement and you feel that sinking feeling in your chest, your brain isn't processing an emotional slight. It is processing a physical injury. It is screaming, "We are being separated from the tribe. We are going to die." The modern mismatch. Here is the problem. You no longer live in a tribe of 150 people. You live in a globalized, hyper-connected world of 8 billion people. If your neighbor doesn't like your outfit, you aren't going to starve to death in the snow. But your ancient biology doesn't know that. You are using a 200,000-year-old survival mechanism to navigate a 21st century society. We have taken the life-or-death stakes of tribal exile and applied them to trivial, meaningless interactions. You don't start the business you've been dreaming of because you are terrified your high school acquaintances will think you're cringe. You stay in a miserable, soul-crushing law or medical career because you are addicted to the brief flash of approval in your parents' eyes. You edit a text message 6 times before sending it because you are trying to perfectly engineer the recipient's perception of you. You are trading your actual, finite human existence for the fleeting, superficial approval of people who are too busy worrying about their own imaginary audiences to actually care about you. The architecture of the modern prison. If our biology built the prison, modern technology monetized it. Lao Tzu warned us about the chains of public opinion when the public was just a local village. Today, we carry the opinions of millions in our pockets. Social media platforms were not designed to connect you. They were designed to weaponize your evolutionary need for approval. They quantified human validation. Before the internet, you had to guess where you stood in the tribal hierarchy. Now, you have a precise, real-time scoreboard. Likes, retweets, follower counts, and view metrics are the bars of your cell, the commodification of the self. When you construct an online persona, you split your identity into 2 pieces. The asterisk true self, who you are when no one is watching, and the asterisk avatar asterisk, the curated, optimized version you present to the world. Over time, you begin to act as the PR manager for your avatar. You make choices not based on what the true self wants, but on what will generate the most validation for the avatar. You go on a vacation not to experience the sunset, but to capture the sunset so others know you experienced it. You read a book not to expand your mind, but to leave it casually visible on your coffee table. This is the ultimate realization of Lao Tzu's quote. When your choices are dictated by the anticipated reaction of the crowd, you are no longer a human being. You are a product, and the crowd is the consumer. You have successfully imprisoned yourself. Lao Tzu and the Daoist escape. How do we break out? We must look to the core of Lao Tzu's philosophy, Taoism asterisk. Taoism is built on the concept of the Tao asterisk, which roughly translates to the way, the natural, unforced flow of the universe. Lao Tzu observed that everything in nature operates perfectly without seeking approval. A river does not ask permission to flow around a rock. An oak tree does not twist its branches to impress the pine tree next to it. They simply exist in their nature. Only humans tie their actions to the judgment of others. The concept of Wu Wei. The Daoist solution is a concept called Wu Wei asterisk, often translated as effortless action or non-doing. Wu Wei asterisk does not mean being lazy or passive. It means acting in pure alignment with your true nature, free from the friction of ego, anxiety, and the desire for external validation. Think of a master musician deeply lost in a solo, or an athlete in a flow state. They are not thinking, "How do I look right now? What does the audience think of this note?" The moment they think about the audience, the magic dies. The flow is broken. They make a mistake. True excellence and true freedom only occur when you sever the cord between your action and the audience's reaction. Lao Tzu teaches that when you seek approval, you give the other person leverage over your emotional state. You hand them the remote control to your nervous system. If they praise you, you feel high. If they criticize you, you crash. You are a puppet on their string. To escape the prison, you must realize that the audience is an illusion ***. People are not thinking about you. They are starring in their own movie, obsessing over their own insecurities. The gaze of society you are so afraid of is just a projection of your own self-judgment, unchaining the mind. Philosophy is useless if it remains theoretical. How do we apply this Daoist detachment to a modern, hyper-connected life? How do we actually stop caring? Here is a step-by-step framework to dismantle the panopticon in your mind. Step 1. The so what protocol. The next time you feel paralyzed by the fear of judgment, whether it's posting a vulnerable piece of writing, wearing an unconventional outfit, or speaking up in a meeting, follow the fear to its absolute logical conclusion. Fear. If I launch this creative project and it fails, people will judge me. Response, so what? Fear, they will think I'm a failure and talk about me. Response, so what? Fear, they will laugh for a few minutes, and then they will go back to worrying about their own lives. When you aggressively interrogate the worst-case scenario, you realize the punishment for disapproval is utterly harmless. No one is exiling you to the freezing wilderness. The stakes are entirely imaginary. Step 2. Kill the avatar. You must actively practice doing things that offer zero social currency. Reconnect with the true self by engaging in activities that cannot be monetized, cannot be posted, and cannot be bragged about. Build a model airplane and throw it in the trash when you're done. Learn a language just to speak it to yourself. Take a walk without your phone. Starve the avatar. Remind your nervous system that you are allowed to exist without an audience. Step 3. Practice intentional disappointment. This is the most difficult but most liberating step. To prove to yourself that you are not a prisoner, you must occasionally practice disappointing people's expectations of you. I am not talking about being cruel or breaking promises. I am talking about establishing boundaries. Say no to a social obligation you normally attend just to keep the peace. Quit a prestigious path that looks good on paper but makes you miserable. The first time you consciously disappoint someone's projection of who you should be, your biological alarm bells will ring. You will feel guilt. But right on the other side of that guilt is a profound, terrifying rush of freedom. You will realize the sky didn't fall. The world kept spinning, and you belong to yourself again. True freedom. Lao Tzu's quote is not a command to become an arrogant sociopath who disregards others. It is a plea for authenticity. When you stop performing for the gallery, your relationships actually improve. You stop manipulating people for validation, and you start loving them for who they are. Your work improves because you are finally operating in Wu Wei, creating for the joy of the process rather than the safety of the result. You only get one life. It is overwhelmingly brief. To spend it tiptoeing around in an invisible prison, Carefully managing the opinions of people who will be forgotten just as quickly as you will is the ultimate tragedy. The door to the cell is unlocked. The guard tower is empty. The audience isn't even watching. It is time to step out of the prison. Leave the imaginary audience behind. And finally, for the first time in your life, meet the person you were always supposed to be.